filosofia. Porque eu li o Mundo de Sofia quando eu estava grávida da minha filha, que está aqui do lado, e o livro acho que passou pelo cordão umbilical, que agora ela quer ser escritora. Eu queria fazer uma pergunta. Eu sou professora universitária da área de saúde, então meus alunos são médicos, biólogos, odontologistas, que têm um perfil de desenvolver conhecimento científico e, por algum motivo, tem sempre um traço de mais dureza em relação à vida, para justamente conseguir enfrentar as dificuldades da profissão e acolher de maneira melhor erros ou perdas humanas. Por isso, a coisa mais difícil na hora que eu estou ensinando meus alunos é discutir ética. Ética que eu acho hoje uma das dificuldades maiores para os alunos e profissionais da saúde atenderem as pessoas, ou, por exemplo, fazer manipulação genética com reprodução artificial e etc. E eu me valho profundamente da filosofia para conseguir fazer com que eles desenvolvam esse comportamento, que eu acho que é a segunda metade de um bom profissional. Só que faltam livros voltados à ética, porque os livros que tem, ou manuais, ou escritos, são bastante técnicos. Os filósofos deveriam, talvez, a pergunta se não está faltando que os filósofos se dediquem à ética como um tema fundamental, principalmente voltado às pessoas que são cientistas sem se preocupar tanto com a humanidade.
Yes, completely agree. But then I would say, for instance, that the Boyne with Listrado Pyjamas is absolutely a book about ethics. It's a very strong ethical message in that book. Because it's a question, how can we possibly write about ethics in a literary, aesthetic, fictional form? I'm asking myself this question almost every day. And I would also add to you, that our ethics today in the world is old. It's made for another reality than the reality we live in. Let me give one example. One of the most important written documents in the history of literature are the UN, Universal Declaration of Human Rights. No? Now these articles were not taken out of the thin air or given us from the heavens. No, they were based on human reflection and philosophy for centuries. But today, we cannot anymore only focus on human rights. Time is ripe for a new declaration, a universal declaration of human obligations. Now, the old prescription, you shall do to your neighbor as you would like your neighbor to do to you. Of course, it must include the neighbor generation. No, there's a complete lawlessness between the generations. We have an ethics which is horizontal. We need also a vertical dimension of ethics. What planet are we delivering to our sons and grandchildren? Well, actually, it's less worth for every generation. Less history, less friction, less wilderness, less stable weather. Have you heard the news today? From Pakistan, from Russia. So, let me just add one thing, which is a really perspective. Maybe, we don't know, but maybe this planet is the only place in the entire universe where we find this universal consciousness we have. Then it's not only a global responsibility to preserve life on Earth, it is a cosmic responsibility. I don't agree with environmentalists who are saying that, well, now Gaia, this goddess, Gaia, she's ill, she has got to be having a fever, and it is because of these microbes, these bacteria, namely human beings. But now Gaia is getting rid of us. That's the only solution for Gaia. evil fascism. I think that human beings are so worthful that this planet would lose very much of its value without us. I'm very much too much a humanist to accept this Gaia nonsense. Sorry.
Oi, meu nome é Cheyenne e eu sou estudante. A minha pergunta vai para o John. Eu gostaria de saber qual foi a sua motivação para escrever sobre o Menino do Pijama Listrado, que retrata a amizade sobre um judeu com um alemão, se não me engano. E foi um período muito difícil, cujo qual era da Alemanha nazi, e eu queria saber qual foi a sua inspiração.
Well, my motivation was the same for that book as for every other book, and should probably be the right motivation for any book. It was like having a good idea, and thinking that you could explore this idea in an original and interesting way. So when I had the original idea of the two boys sitting at the fence talking to each other, which is where that book started in my head, and when I just pictured the two of them there and the journey that we're going to be going on, it just seemed like a very good idea. And I thought, well, nobody has written about the Holocaust from the perspective of the little German boy who we discussed this yesterday at the talk about the fact that he is just as innocent as anyone else in my book, because he hasn't done anything to anybody, and it just seemed like a good idea. And I thought I could write this. I could write it for young readers and give them what I often think is like a gentle introduction to a study of the subject of the Holocaust, so that they would hopefully get to the end of the book and be moved enough by the characters and the story that they would go on and they would want to go on and not only read more about the Holocaust itself, but also want to pay some attention to the genocides that go on in the world today, to the prejudice that exists in their own classroom, in their own schoolyard, and do something about it. Which is where, it just brings us right back to where we started, in the sense of telling stories. What's the point of stories? That stories can actually be for the good, for the universal good, that you can hopefully tell a story which can change people's minds about things.
A Norwegian reviewer of the book about the boy with the striped pyjamas said that it's a story about a boy who is reacting normally or adequately to an abnormal, unhealthy world. I think that was a very good way of characters, giving a characteristic of the new project.